Welcome back, OSLP family.
Welcome.
You are listening to Our Sleeved Life presents the Bariatric Diaries, and this is Kelly.
And this is Mel.
And we are gonna hear the Cristine story today. She is 1 month post-op. And if you guys are listening to the Bariatric Diaries for the first time, we are going to be following 3 different patients post-op. So we are going to record with them 1 month, 3 month, 4 month, no. 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 9 month, and 1 year. So we were going to get a full view of what their life is the first year after surgery.
Yeah, because we are pretty post-op.
Yes.
And I want to make sure we're up to date on everything.
Yes.
Like all the new techniques, how people feel, is it working, not working?
Correct.
Like we can really get an eye-opening to like what's new. So
yeah,
I'm so excited.
So without further ado, meet Cristine. Say hello, Cristine.
How you doing? How you doing? I am Cristine.
Yeah. We are so excited to have you on today.
Yes,
we want to hear all the things that have happened since surgery.
Yeah, thank you for
let me just say, you guys were instrumental. I probably finished season 1 in like 4 days, because once I found you guys, I found you through Sleep Believe the Hype.
Oh yeah. We love Ted. We love Ted.
TT got VSG, and I'm like, well, let me follow them. And once I did, like literally, I was like, oh my God, I found my people. Like I found my people. These people give it to me real. And Kelly, you've been super helpful, because I did have to go eat out, and I'm just like, just give me meat. Don't bring the bill to the table.
I'm glad, because that was the hardest thing for me, is when I went out to eat, I'm like, how do I eat out?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do?
Well, that was the thing.
It was. And so like, I wish I had somebody that said like, dude, don't order anything. Just get the meat. Like that's all you need.
I went to Texas Roadhouse. I had my boyfriend, and he wanted some rolls. I was like, can you guys just bring him 2 rolls? Do not bring that bread basket here. Like, and I was like,
good job.
3 weeks out. So I was just like, let me just have the salmon. I bought like little 2-ounce cups, and I was sitting there mixing protein powder and mashed potatoes.
Holy shit.
That's intense.
That's impressive.
But, it wasn't that bad, and the thing is, it took me just as much time to eat my little bit of food as it took my boyfriend to like knock down a steak, some shrimp, bread, like everything. And I thought I'd be a lot more triggered than I was, but I actually wasn't. So I was glad about that, because I knew that people asking you to go out to eat and stuff is just kind of murky waters.
Well, and it's a universal like socializing event. Like when you talk to like old friends or something, and they're like, hey, let's go get dinner or let's go get lunch. It's never like, let's go walk around the park. It's always food, always food.
Yeah.
Literally.
So it's nice to have a plan of action, I think, before you even step into a restaurant, of like, this is what I'm ordering. This is what I'm going to do for this. This is what, so that you already have a planned thought.
Exactly. And you definitely helped me with that, because seriously, I don't know if y'all have Texas Roadhouse up there, but the bread and that cinnamon butter, that is my Achilles heel. And I'm like, I don't want to see it. Like, I really didn't even want to see him eat it. I was just like, but then I was kind of like, let me watch you eat the bread, eat it slower.
It became like a turn on. You're like, yes, eat that bread. I love it. I actually have been to Missouri a few times. And so they have Texas Roadhouse. And so I've actually, their beef tips.
And I'm in Texas. So imagine it in Texas.
Oh, so we're going to have to go to Texas.
Oh yeah.
Yes, come visit.
Yes.
Let's all get vaccinated and turn up.
Yes. Well, we had talked about it because we're doing the Bariatric Retreat. I don't know if you heard about
that. I saw the one is it going to be in California or something?
Yeah, San Diego. Yeah. And so I think that there's more plans for more. We don't there's nothing confirmed, but we're hoping that they'll do more and do some like on the East Coast, Midwest, like stuff like that so that we can hit all of the areas. Yeah. But me and Mel were actually just talking about it because they released the kind of a loose calendar of when we can get vaccinated. And we're like, yes, let's get this done so we can travel, meet all of our people and not have to worry.
Kel should be able to get hers in May, and then I have to wait till July. So
really? Okay. Well, I think that President Biden, he said, I was watching the news the other day, and he said by May 1st, they're going to stop all the restrictions. Like you have to have comorbidities or disease or be 65. So by May 1st, we should.
I can finally go.
And so we should be able to go together.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get vaccinated. Now some of my friends are starting to. So both my parents and my grandparents have been vaccinated. So.
And they did fine with it?
Yeah, everybody did fine. Nobody's turned into a zombie.
I know, right?
I was like, I have to keep a watchful eye, like make sure you guys don't like get a twitch or something. Yes. But I feel comfortable, and especially knowing that like I want to start traveling again and feel more confident doing that. Like we're all chocked full of vaccines anyway. What's enough?
Yeah, really, we are.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. And I figure if the zombie apocalypse does happen, there's nothing we can do to stop it. So we all know I will be the first one dead.
Die in like the first 10 minutes.
Oh, you and me both. Like, I'm like, no, I'll be the first one dead. It's totally fine. I'm okay with it. I don't want to see this shit happening. So
exactly.
Kill me off first, please.
No, you'll live because of me. Because like I'm clearing. Like I will be killing.
No, listen, I'm dead because even whenever I'm in Houston, so whenever that winter storm that everybody was hearing about and we lost power, I told myself, I was like, I would never survive in the apocalypse because I haven't had Wi-Fi for 20 minutes and I'm going insane.
Oh, Melanie was going insane.
I went 4 days of no.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then I went 2 extra days of no internet.
Yeah.
That's how it was like
2 days, no power.
Yeah.
And oh my God, did you guys hear that throat gurgle? What the hell?
That was me.
Me
no,
too.
mine. I just heard mine. I was
mine does it all the time.
Oh,
it'll be like,
that's something that someone could have, told me about. Like,
so
I think it is in our random things.
Yeah,
we talk about.
Oh, really? Well, I heard you talking about it. Like on one of the episodes, Mel was like, "Oh, I just heard your throat gurgle," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because I think this might have been before I got surgery. I was like, "What is she talking about?" And then after I had surgery, I was like, "Okay,
that's what she's talking about." Yep, it happens to me all the time, and like I have to like lean back when I know it's coming so that it doesn't pick up in the mic.
Mine just. Barry does what he wants to do. That's the name of my sleeve. Barry.
I love it.
You named your sleeve. So let's let's introduce you. Like, who are you? Where are you from? Like, where'd you get the surgery at? Like, let's get to know Cristine.
Melanie wants to do chronological order now.
Well, these people need to know how this all works.
Yes. Yes.
That is so I had VSG on February 8th. I had it in Mexico. Yeah, I had it in Mexico at a center called Pompeii Surgical. It was absolutely an amazing experience. And I definitely psyched myself out like in the beginning, going on all the Facebook groups. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to drink water. I'm going to be throwing up. But literally since surgery, I haven't thrown up. I've been able to keep everything down. I'm getting in like 70 ounces or so, trying to hit 70 ounces of water a day. Like there's no protein shake that I've tasted, that I was doing pre-op that I'm just like, oh my God, it's disgusting now. So I'm really having a smooth experience, almost too smooth where I'm just like, let me watch that video and make sure you guys get my stomach out. Like, and knock on wood.
Take my stomach out.
It's like,
I need photo evidence.
But no, I had my my surgeon, his name was Dr. Paston. He was amazing. I had him, I was like, can you take a picture of it? And he did. And I sent it to my boyfriend and he turned it into an alien. And yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna have to post it one day, but I don't want to like freak everybody on Instagram out. But like he turned it into like a little alien and it was just awesome.
Just put up one of those things that says graphics slide.
I know this is graphic, but it's actually cute. Like once he put the little alien face, I'm like, oh, look at the cute little alien stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. You're like, yeah, that came out of me.
Yeah, I'm gonna DM it to you guys so you can see.
Please, because I'm interested to see what that looks like.
It looks gross, literally.
What made you get the surgery?
Okay, so I had gained a lot of weight over the quarantine. So my
Mhm.
highest weight was 312. And
Okay.
I had always told myself, like, I've always been a bigger person, but I always told myself, like, I'll never be over 300 pounds. Even as I was like at 295, I'm like, I'm never gonna hit three. I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna get it together. And I had went to, my boyfriend lives in the Dallas area. I live in Houston. So I went to go see him for a few weeks, and I come home and I get on the scale and it's like 305. And I'm like, oh, motherfucker. You know, I'm just like, oh my God. And I knew that I was gaining weight just because, like, I started doing weird stuff, like only shopping in the men's section. And I got into like an oversized t-shirt phase. So all I wanted to wear was like biker shorts and oversized t-shirts. But that's really because like none of my clothes were really fitting anymore.
Yeah, right.
And at that point, I was like, you know what, I'm ready, because it's something that I've thought about a few times, and I'm sure you guys have experienced this too, where you're just like, well, I'm gonna just try by myself one more time. And right before the quarantine, I had actually lost some weight because I was working with a great trainer, and I purposefully chose someone who had lost 100 pounds so they could, you know, relate to me and everything. And that went great. I lost like 35 pounds. And, you know, I was in the gym every day. And then when COVID happened, it just shut down. And I have PCOS. So it's very hard to lose weight. But if I look at carbs too long, I gain 5 pounds.
I was gonna say, you don't even have to eat them, just smell them and you're gonna
just smell, and I'm just gonna gain. So after working with the trainer and gaining all that weight back, plus some, you know, because when I start working with the trainer, 295, you know, and then after I worked with her, I got down to like 260, and then quarantine 305. And that's within like from February to July. Like so quick, you know? But also I wasn't getting any activity. Like I was telling you guys before we started on the call, like my boyfriend is like a chef and he just cooks everything in such big portions. So and we're, you know, in love. So like I'm gaining the happy weight and stuff. And I'm like, wait, this isn't just happy weight. This is also unhappy weight. And I just decided, I was like, you know what? I'm going to really take the reins and take control of my life, take control of my weight, because it's something that has plagued me pretty much my whole life since I was a kid. You know, I'm not new fat. I'm old fat, you know, like
I like that.
I'm old fat, you know? So
I feel you, girl.
It's just something, you know, and I know that the surgery isn't going to solve all my problems or anything like that, but it was like, I really needed something to really help me to where, because I'm the type of person where I can stay focused for like 6 months, right? And then after 6 months, if I'm not seeing the results that I want, even if you know, we've all lost weight and then looked at the pictures and be like, why did I think I was so fat? I looked great then. You know? But I was still in my head like, oh, I'm not a Kardashian yet. What the hell? And I would just gain the weight back. So it was just kind of like a ebb and flow. And I decided in October, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to switch my insurance because my job had like several insurance plans and the one I was currently on didn't cover it. So I was like, I'm going to switch my insurance to one of these plans that cover it. I start calling and finding out, okay, this is a 4-month process and all this stuff. And literally right as I switched during open enrollment, because of COVID, my company was trying to save money. So they switched to another insurance and none of the plans covered it. So none of the plans covered it. And I work for like a French company and we know French people are like thick skinned. So I didn't want to be the person going to HR to advocate for bariatric surgery because I'm the only fat person here, you know? So I'm just like,
oh man,
I have to find a way to still get this. And I was super defeated, but I started looking and the prices were like super high here. Like one of the quotes I got was 17,000. Another quote was 19,000. Wow. And then I was going to go to somewhere called Blossom Bariatrics in Vegas because they do like weird thing where they bill your insurance. So you only have to pay like 6,000. But the way your insurance was set up, they couldn't do it. So they quoted me 15,000. And I'm like, I guess I'm not having this surgery. And I'm on YouTube. And a video from Chic and Savvy Belle comes up. I don't know if you guys follow her, but she's She is amazing. And she went to Pompeii and she did videos to show the entire process, her stay there, them taking out her drink, everything.
Nice.
Wow.
I was like, Mexico. No, not Mexico. I'm not going. And then I was like, okay, let me do my research. So I started doing more research and more research and more research. I joined Pompeii's Facebook page. So I'm reading everybody's experiences. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
$5,300. And that included my travel from, they picked us up in San Diego. That included, they have like a beautiful, beautiful beach condo, like beach condos. So it was so nice. Like, and my mom came with me. It felt like a vacation almost.
Wow.
You know, the fact that I had surgery, but everyone was just amazing. Like the surgeons, the nursing staff, the hospital I stayed at, like everything was amazing. And even when I was getting on the surgery table, I started to cry because I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm finally doing this. I wasn't crying like sad tears, just kind of like uncertainty tears. And when I say that surgeon like rubbed my head and was like holding my hand and he was like, I do this all the time. You have nothing to worry about. Everything's gonna be okay. And then I woke up and now I'm here. So it was just amazing. The level of care I got in Mexico was amazing. Cause I know even here, like even through insurance, I would have stayed at the hospital 2 days and then boom, I'm back home. And I just had to be very specific about planning my,
Wait, did it just pause? What just happened?
Yeah, it paused.
Having to go to all these appointments, go see the therapist, go to a nutritionist, all that stuff. So, you know, I coordinated care with my PCP, who so happened, like the way that things fall in line, she so happened to, her last position was working 10 years at a bariatric center, my PCP. I didn't know that. So she was like, oh, of course I'll do your aftercare.
Yeah.
Yes. And I got a nutritionist. So I'm seeing her for the first time next week.
Great.
I also am in therapy because I'm like, I started therapy like in November after I decided, I was like, because I need to get mentally, you know, prepared for it. So I feel like I've crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's, but it was just a wonderful experience. And I know that was a super long answer for a short question.
Oh, no, I love that.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that even though you've already had surgery, you're still taking those steps to make sure that it fits the way it's supposed to fit. You know, like you're doing the work. It may be after you had surgery, but you're still putting in the work. Like you're still doing the nutritionist, you're still doing the therapy. Like you're doing all those things to make sure that you're taking it as serious as possible. So I love that.
Yeah. Do you remember your surgeon's name?
Dr. Paston. So, and it was through Pompeii Surgical, but anybody, honestly, like hand to God, anybody whose insurance didn't cover it, like I would tell them, I was like, go there, seriously. Cause I just, I bought my mom and they treated her nice, and my mom's a diabetic and she had forgot like one of her insulin pens. She didn't bring enough insulin. The guy who manages the condo, he was like, oh, come on. And he took her to the pharmacy, you know, and she's not even the patient.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. So they were just so thorough. And, you know, even now they call me every week, you know, to let me know, hey, this is your, you know, this is the week that you're supposed to start soft foods. Here's an email with all the things you're supposed to have. How are you doing? Send pictures of your stitches. Like they were just amazing. Like seriously amazing.
I really like that they still call you, because I think that's one of the biggest things about going to Mexico is that you don't have the aftercare, right? That's what everybody talks about. I mean, we've said it too, that it seems like a lot of people like Mexico, they just do your surgery and then they're like, get back over the border, you know? And so I like that they still call you.
It can be like, and that's why I was so specific, because of course I didn't just choose Pompeii because the chic and savvy belle, but I looked at other facilities and some were cheaper. Like you can get it for like $3,000, you know, some places were like $4,000, but you had to do your own travel. You know, you had to do your own hotel stays. Like I wanted something that was all encompassing. And then I wanted something to where like I have my surgeon's phone number to where he's like, if something goes wrong, you know, call me, call my office. I will send medical records wherever I need to. Like, they were just very, very thorough. Gave me a video of my surgery.
Wow.
They've sent documents to my PCP, so she has that medical information. They're literally just amazing. Seriously.
That's
I was gonna
outstanding.
say, like, with technology these days, there should be no reason just because you go to a different country to get surgery, you should still be able to have your records.
You should still be able to
There
have
should be
the
document-
aftercare.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
you can email, you can phone call. Like, we don't have to be in person anymore. Like,
No, I mean, look at us.
yeah, like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And my
that.
surgeon, he also does like virtual consultations and stuff like that. So I just felt really good about the decision that I made to have it there. Of course, when you say you're going out of the country for surgery, everyone's looking at you like you're batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, but they know the type of person I am. Like, I'm a very research oriented person. Like, I'm not going to just like, I want to have surgery in Mexico, like, take me to the cheapest place there is. I just want this done. Or, and especially seeing the difference in experience when you have coordinated care afterwards versus when you don't, and you're kind of just like flying by the seat of your pants, looking in forms, trying to find answers for your problems. So I feel good that, I can just call the facility at any time, and they'll let me know. They'll let me know if something's normal or if something's abnormal. So
yeah,
I feel really
great.
good about that.
I really like that.
Yes, I do too. Yeah, we should definitely look more into Pompeii.
Yeah, well,
No, yeah, they were great.
In this. That's what we'll do.
Yeah,
I think actually they follow us.
They might.
I think they do.
Hey,
Yeah, right?
when y'all start doing plastics, remember I gave you a shout out if you're watching.
Well, if they did plastics, that might be a good option.
They said that they're going to start getting into it, but I'm weary about like plastics in another country, just because there's so much aftercare that's required, and you have to make sure you're not like splitting around. So I don't know. But if they did offer plastic surgery and I did have to go to Mexico, it would probably be them, because like, you guys take care of business.
So you can tell that they care.
Exactly.
They really
well, we actually interviewed that it's going to come out later this season, but she actually had plastic surgery in Mexico and she had a fabulous experience.
Yeah, there's a
See, I think that we all have to kind of get up out of our head, like, with stigmas, so we can't assume that just because something is somewhere else that it's less. And I'm half Nigerian, so I also have kind of like a background of my dad telling me, hey, the world does not stop and end in America. Like, you need to know there's other places, other people have knowledge, other people go to school, other people have research. So it was good that he said that, because when he told me hell no to going to Mexico, I was like, but you said
wait a minute.
So
that was amazing.
One of the things that I was going to point out is like there's some really smart and intelligent doctors and scientists that aren't in America.
Correct.
Exactly.
So we're not the best. Like, it's just stupid.
Right.
Like,
we just have we're spoiled.
Yes.
We're spoiled. Like, everybody accommodates us everywhere we go. So it's just like, we're spoiled. But I just didn't want to close myself off, and I'm glad I did it, because if I would have been like, no, I'm not, I just can't do Mexico, like I wouldn't have had the surgery today, know. And I feel fantastic, so.
And I think the big deal is that you look at how much research you did, and you got such a great experience through it because of all the things you went through to find it. Oh, you made your own little
That's
book.
awesome.
And I have everything. Like, it has all my aftercare paperwork, all my appointments. Like, I'm a planner, and I just like customized it, because I was like, I want to make sure that I have like a bariatric Bible type thing.
Yeah.
And so I just started making that, and all the research and everything I just put into that, everything I need to track. So when I go to my appointments, I'll just like bring that journal. I'm like, here's all the different, here's how my weight's fluctuated. Here's what these numbers are. So
that's fantastic.
I love this.
Yes.
I'm so impressed.
Yes. I'm very impressed by how.
Oh, but don't be too impressed. I had to remind myself, like, 2 weeks out from surgery, I was like, open the Bible. Like,
yes.
Open your bariatric Bible.
I feel like we all need those reminders sometimes. I know I'm like, okay, Kelly, get it the fuck together and figure out your life.
Yes.
I feel you. How did you feel when you first came out of surgery?
So when I first came out of surgery, I was kind of nauseous. Like, I think those were my first words when I woke up. I was like, I'm nauseous. Okay. And I was like, I need nausea medication. So they were great with like giving you, medication, pain medication, nausea medication. So I had some gas pain, but I felt happy. Like, I know that people, like, I was expecting to wake up with that instant regret that everybody talks about, but I still felt just blessed. I'm like, oh my God, I did it. Like, I actually did it, Yes. So I felt good. I was nauseous. I had some gas pain, but it wasn't crazy. And my mom, she was being such a hard ass with like getting up and walking. So like the first day I just wanted to lay down. She's like, you have to get up. You have to walk the whole way. I'm like,
yes, go mom.
It was so annoying. Like, cause like I would literally go out into the hallway and I would just like walk back and forth like 3 times. And she's like, 2 more laps. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, lady. I just want to
She's like, I'm timing you.
Literally, she was like, no, you need to walk. They said 10 to 15 minutes. You've only been walking for 8 minutes. I'm just like,
oh my gosh. Good job, mom.
Seriously.
She was what I needed. But in the moment, I was just like, I literally just want to lay here. The first day kind of sucked because you can't, until you do your barium swallow test, you couldn't drink anything or eat anything. And even if you had ice chips, it was just like wet your mouth and spit them back out. Okay. So I was like, I don't want the ice chips, but I was like a little nauseous. And you know how when you get nauseous, your like mouth gets all wet, gets all like, so I just used that little throw up bucket to just like spit. So like every like 10 minutes, I was just like, oh my, I don't want to swallow all this. I don't know if it's going to hurt my stomach. Yeah. But by the time we left the hospital, because I stayed there for 2 days and then we went back to the beach house for recovery. So by the time we went to the beach house, I was fine. Yeah, I still had like a few sharp pains because I never had gas pain before. Okay. And that was a bitch. It felt like I was like, is somebody stabbing me? Like, what's going on? I was like, what is this? Yes. So I was like, am I having a heart attack? Like, what is this?
What did you all do to me?
Yeah, I was like, what did you guys do? But other than that, it was fine. Like, even by the time I went home, I wasn't on pain meds or anything anymore. I had my edibles lady before because I was like, I'm not. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to like, smoke. I am not cigarettes, but like marijuana. I know Mel's my girl, but like I couldn't do the tobacco leaf paper because I'm like, they said no tobacco. Right. So no, I don't want to smoke because I don't want to cough and upset my stomach. So what I did was I had my edibles lady. She made me a batch of sugar-free green tea. I was like, just don't put any like sweetener in it. So she made me a green tea that was infused. And then I just like put a little Splenda in there. So by the time I came home, I didn't take pain meds, but I would take like, and when I say that shit, let me say that shit changed my life. Yeah. Because usually like I would have to drink like half a cup, and I'll be fine in like 30 minutes. After bariatric surgery, 2-ounce cup. I was like, well, let me try it. And I drank like the 2-ounce cup. And when I say 10 minutes later, I was like, oh, this is nice.
So what the deal is, Cristine, is when you do edibles, your body processes it differently. And it's way more intense.
No, yeah, it was.
And now it's quicker too. It was real quick because we have tiny tummies and it's like, boom, here we go.
Baby, yeah, exactly. And I was like, I prefer that over pain medication anyway, So by the time I came home, I kind of like switched over and I was fine. So
that's good. That took care of your
pain. It's like the munchies or anything like that. So I was just
because that's always a concern with smoking weed post-op. I mean, that you get the, munchies. I found that like, so we just actually ordered some CBD tea off Harney and Sons, which is our favorite tea, hands down, is Harney and Sons. And we didn't know they had CBD
so we're gonna
tea.
Try it.
So it should be here next week.
I haven't tried CBD yet. I'm just like, I'm a THC girl. So like when my friends are like, try CBD, I'm like, why? I could just
I could just use THC. Yeah,
it's true. It's just like if I have an actual like if my body's sore, what I've noticed is that if I just did the drops of CBD, the soreness is like goes away. And then I still smoke weed. So
well, and I have autoimmune diseases. I have a lot of pain in my joints. I have a lot of pain all over. And so it's really nice to be able to smoke some CBD or have an edible, like a little CBD
like gummy or
it's like
something.
a gummy. And it does help. And I would much prefer taking that over my narcotics that I was on.
Exactly. So I was fine. And okay, sorry. I know we got off track.
No, you're good. Keep going.
That's what we do.
You're good.
Okay, what else you got for me?
So how was your transition from liquids into Puree?
Okay, so transition wise, I was fine. Like I told you guys earlier, I hadn't really had any trouble getting stuff down or anything. So when I moved, by the time I came home, I was on full liquid. So I was doing like Greek yogurt, doing some teas, doing broth, pudding, that type of stuff. So whenever I moved to Purees, like when you're not eating, you start thinking of like all the things that you want. So like I'm on Instagram and I'm looking at like Puree tags and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make that and that ricotta, that's that, and that. And the first thing I really wanted was deviled egg filling. And
interesting.
I wanted I know that's so weird, but I couldn't have the whole deviled egg, but I'm just like, I want the filling. And my mom, she makes the best deviled eggs. So I was like, well, can you make me the filling?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
So
there's story time.
She made me some, and I had the first thing I had on Puree was refried beans, like fat-free refried beans. Delicious. That set well. I didn't have any adverse reaction. So then when it came time for the deviled eggs, she made the filling and put in the little 2-ounce cups. So I ate, some, and like halfway through, I'm just like, hold up. Cause like my body started getting like hot and I just start.
Hold on.
What's happening?
Was something called papaya enzymes, like that. When I was doing my research.
Hold on, just one second.
What you got?
So,
okay.
Your internet cut out. So,
am I back?
You are.
Okay, we good?
So we left off right when she was saying
you started getting hot.
Yeah, you got
hot. So I started getting like super hot, and I was just like, I don't feel right. Like I need to like lay down. What is this? So before, when I was doing my research, there was something called papaya enzymes. And that was one thing that people in the Pompeii group, they were like, whenever I feel bad or something doesn't sit well, I eat one of these and it's fine. So I just I was buying like everything. Of course, like I overbought, but I was like, well, let me buy this. So I bought the papaya enzyme. So after I ate the eggs and I started feeling weird, I went upstairs to lay down and I was like, let me try one of these papaya enzymes. So I ate one, and like 10 minutes later, I was fine. And I was like, no, seriously. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to keep these on deck. So now I just like keep a couple with me. So when I'm trying new things, if it does upset me, like when I had pudding for the first time, I felt kind of weird. I took a papaya enzyme, I was fine. When I had deviled eggs, same thing. So what I think it was, because I kind of jumped the gun with the deviled eggs because it had like mustard and mayo. She didn't put any relish or anything.
Okay.
But I think that the mustard may have been a little too acidic at the time because I was only like 2 weeks out. And I think that's what bothered me. Because I was, when it happened, I was like, Lord, please don't let it be the eggs. Because I love eggs. I was like, Lord, please. So I end up, the next day, I was like, well, let me just try like scrambled eggs by themselves. So I was eating it like with caution. And I was like, okay, we're good. It was the mustard.
Yeah.
So since then, I haven't had any problems doing anything. Just that one time. With those deviled eggs, like the deviled egg feeling, I was like, I need to lay down. But everything else really doesn't bother. Like, of course, like my stomach's like, what's that? So we'll start.
Yep.
I'm like, Mary, shut the fuck up.
But
but yeah, so like, you know, the throat gurgles and stuff happen as I'm trying new things, but I really have not had adverse reactions to food. And that honestly kind of scares me in a sense, because one thing I had saw, and I'm like, I gotta stay off these damn Facebook groups, but it was like people eating around their sleeve. And I'm like, I don't want to like eat around my sleeve. And am I like, so now I'm in this place, I'm like, am I eating too much? Because, you know, this weird thing happens in the bariatric community where it's like the survival of the person who can eat the less. Like someone's like, how do you eat all that? Or how do you do that? And they're like, I can only finish 1 teaspoon. I can only finish half a teaspoon. I'm like, okay. You know, so I'm sitting there and all that's going through my head and I'm like, because I'm able to, you know, finish stuff and like finish it within a 30, 45-minute window.
Which is fine.
But in my head, you know, I'm like, am I doing this wrong? Am I eating around my sleeve? Like, am I doing too much, you know? But I've been like weighing my food. So, you know, no more than like 2 to 3 ounces at a time. But sometimes it kind of like surprises me. Like I ate a whole cheese stick in like 10 minutes and I was like, oh no. You know?
1 cheese stick. You're okay. You're fine. Well, and here's the thing, it's that when you like, there will be some days where you can do that. And then there'll be other days where you take 2 bites and you're like, okay, I'm done. So it's literally just like day by day, hour by hour. And it's really hard not to compare yourself. Like, how can they only eat 1 ounce, but I'm over here eating 2 ounces and I'm less time. Yeah, like your body's going to do what it wants to do.
I had the same anxieties for the first month because I was like, I was so scared of like breaking the pouch. So that's what you mean by like eating outside your sleeve, is that it like broke or something?
Yeah, well, they were basically saying, because of course, you know, regain and I know that I'm thinking, my therapist is like, please live in the moment. Like you're thinking 2 years ahead. But like they were saying a big reason why a lot of people fail, or like, you know, let's say they lose 50 pounds and then that they pretty much peak there, is because they have strategically learned how to eat around their sleeve, you know? So like, oh, I can only eat 2 ounces now, but in 10 minutes, I feel fine. I'm going to have another 2. And in 10 minutes, I feel fine. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then next thing you know, you kind of like configured a way for your body to still be eating, you know, like shit. And,
I see.
You know, so I'm,
got it.
It's my,
made that's the my sleeve work for them.
That's not the other way around. Yeah.
No, yeah. So, and I think my anxiety around that is because, you know, coming from obesity, and especially like lifelong, how do you think I stretch my stomach out in the first place? By pushing the limits. So it's like, I kind of take myself back to a place mentally where I'm like, am I eating past the point where I'm full? You know, because, you know, because that was one thing that I really wanted to get from this surgery. And I don't necessarily know if it will give me that, which kind of makes me a little sad, but I'm like, I want to know what true full is, you know, like being like, or not even true full, but like satisfied. Yeah. And for me, like my trigger is like hiccups. So like when I hiccup, I'm like, okay, this is my body's way of telling me that I'm full. But like mentally, I'm like, but I can eat more, right? Like, you know, so it's just kind of a mind fuck.
Oh, it totally is.
100%. Yeah. I still battle with that daily. Like, cause I get the hiccups and I'll be like, well, I could have one more bite. And any time that I like have one more bite, I regret it so much after. So I've kind of learned like your body is telling you that you need to stop. And I have to like talk my brain down, because my brain is saying, oh, well, you could take a few more bites. There's only 2 bites left on the plate. Exactly. You can finish it. Yep. Because, you know, as kids, we were always told, finish what's on your plate, right? So now I'm like, okay, I got to finish what's on my plate. But then on the other side, it's like, it's okay. It's okay to throw away 2 bites of food.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Or you can leave it on the counter and in 2 hours, finish those 2 bites.
Yeah.
I'm honestly still coming to grips with that, because it's like, whenever I can't even finish a small amount of food, you know, my brain's like, this isn't even a lot of food. Like, you should be able to finish this. Like, literally, you have 2 tablespoons of hummus and a piece of meat. Like,
yes.
Oh, it's laughable. It's so laughable. Yeah. It's like,
but I feel, and I will finish it, and I don't feel bad. But in my mind, I'm like, did I do too much, or did I not listen to my body? And just trying to wrap my head around that. And I've officially hit my first stall.
Okay.
So
wait, hold on. What do you consider a stall? Okay.
You knew that it was coming.
You're only a month out, so you have a whole long journey to go still.
I know this, and this is the thing. Like, I'm not like, I hit my first stall. Oh my God, I'm so depressed about it. What can I do to break my stall? All this stuff. Like, I've done enough research to be like, talk my brain down. So I'll give like my brain like 5 seconds of like panic, and then I'll just be like, it's normal.
This too shall
don't
pass.
Freak out. Like, it's fine. And it's like, you know, in what realm could I have lost 27 pounds in a month? You know, no. So I'm like,
what are you at?
You know, you're doing fine. So right now I'm at 286. So from 386. Yeah. So I'm super excited about that. I do need to create more boundaries at work, because like I work from home, and it's one of those things, like I can literally sit at my computer for 12 hours without moving. So like me, I'm like, okay, you need to get your water, you need to get your protein, you need to get up and walk. You know, when I went to my doctor's office, I was like, I'm trying to hit 5,000 steps a day, and she's like, make it 8,000. And I'm like, okay, girl, you know, like, let me find, and I'm like, let me find the time to do that. So just try and find ways to like set boundaries at work so that I can, I'm going to try this system out, work 40 minutes, take a 10-minute break. So like,
great.
I can't remember what the name of it is, but I heard about it on another podcast I listened to. And it's like, you know, just set breaks for yourself. So that I'm not sitting and like working for 3 hours. I get up and I'm like, well, let me grab something out of the fridge. I'll like set like a protein shake in front of me, a snack, a bottle of water. And I'm like, you have to finish this, but I'm still more sedentary than I'd like. And I want to get in the zone of like being more active, especially because next month I'll be able to work out finally. So I need to start to, you know, get myself there.
Working from home's a bitch, because like I had to do the same thing. I have to put like, you know, your little like Microsoft calendar or whatever at work, like it sends me alerts to get up now, because I would do the same thing. I'm like, oh, I'm in, let's go. Because I was gonna say, well, who does that sound like when I'm at your house? Like I'm surrounded by 5 different liquids, and I'm just like, I gotta get all
exactly. And it's like, okay, are you getting your steps in? And that's one thing, even before the surgery, because I was working from home, like my job's been work from home since I've worked here. So luckily, you know, when Corona came, it didn't affect that aspect.
Good.
But, you know, my last ditch effort, whatever that was with my trainer, she would have to tell me like, you need to set better boundaries, because literally I'd be at work and I literally couldn't get up, and she had these goals for me. So I would be leaving work, going to do her workout, and then walking on the treadmill for another hour and a half because I didn't get any steps in, you know? So like, and I know that that's not the best way to go about it. So I'm trying to wrap my brain around how to start changing it now so that I can get in the habit of just like, even if it's like walking around the block of my, you know, and I've done that a few times, like, okay, let me get up and take a walk around the block. Well, that's fine, but I'm kind of hard on myself, like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah. Kelly's been coming over, and that's what I've been noticed is like doing some sort of walk in the morning goes a long way. Because I don't feel like an asshole that I didn't move like for the first 3 hours of my workday, you know. I'll be like, well, I got the walk in, let's get a bunch done. Yeah. And then now we can go to the next thing. Yeah. Like go to the next like walk or get up, move.
I would definitely recommend setting your timers.
Yeah.
And just saying, you know, like you're saying, every 40 minutes, have a timer go off and say that you have to do 1 lap, and then you can go back to work. Because 1 lap, that's going to take you what, 5-10 minutes?
Yeah. I also need to be able to say like, no at work, or that's going to get done tomorrow at work, because I gotta get so tunnel vision, and I'll see things on my board and I'm like, I need to finish all this. And the fact is, if I look online and I'm the only person on, number one, I'm not the top tier, not in the top tier of pay at my job. And here I am, the only one online, and everybody else is offline. And I'm sitting here. It's like,
that's a good way to think about it.
It's, you know, so it's like, okay, I need to set boundaries and be like, okay, you're supposed to work 9 to 6. And though I have some flexibility, so it's, I hope my boss not watching. I have some flexibility to where like my boss, she's one of those people, she's like, just get your work done. Like, I don't care. Go get your nails done in the middle of the day. Who cares? Just do your work. Yeah. And So sometimes I'll start work like 10:30, you know, and I'll kind of feel bad because I'm like, well, I didn't start till 10:30, but I'm like, that doesn't mean you work till 11 o'clock because that's still a 12.5 hour day and you're only supposed to work 8. So technically,
I know my boss is the same way. My boss same way, and I do the same damn things because I like
girl, we gotta set boundaries and be like, actually, that's getting done tomorrow. Yeah. Actually, if you want to do it, it's fine, but I've been here since 9 and it's 6 o'clock and I have stuff to do. Like,
yeah. You have a life too.
Yeah.
That you have to live.
And we always get our work done, right? Like that's
exactly.
the deal. Like,
but do you work on a small team, Mel?
Yeah.
Me too. So like my team is like 5 people. So in my head, I'm like, well, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. And then the clients are going to blah, blah. And I'm going down all these, then they're going to churn and then I'm going to get fired, you know? So I'm going down.
You're rabbit holing.
Real.
Yeah. We got to stop the there's a book my therapist told me to read. I'm going to get it. It's called Unfuck Your Brain. And
yes, we keep hearing about that.
Okay, so let's read that because I'm like, okay, I need to maybe
we want to.
I'm like, clearly my brain is fucked. So
you and me both, lady. But I think that the big thing that I'm hearing from you is that you are legit making changes within your life. You're not, everything that you're explaining sounds so good and on track for where I feel like you should be at.
1 month. Like, you're doing all the things.
And I feel like I'm just kind of like going with emotions. Like, I need to get better. Like, I'm going to start back using MyFitnessPal because I've determined I really don't like Bariatric app.
Okay.
There's not enough like stuff. And I like MyFitnessPal when I use it better because I think the fact that I don't like the app and I'm like, oh, they never have any food. So I'm going to have to spend time like tracking. I've been doing more of like a mental, like, oh, an egg is 6. Oh, there's Puree is 30. You know, let me hit this. But I know that I need to, especially being that I'm about to meet with my nutritionist, like start to like write down everything again and really be structured. But it's sometimes it's just kind of overwhelming because I'm just like, man, I got, you know, before surgery, if like depression or something hit me, I could stay in the bed for 3 days. I don't have to eat. I don't have to drink water. I just get up and go to the bathroom. I can go to Burger King and go get a Whopper once like my stomach is touching my back and then I get back in the bed. So, but now it's kind of like, okay, girl, no, you'll die. Like you
have to take care of number one.
Yeah.
Which is you.
So just balancing that as well. But I still feel really good. I still feel good about my decision. I don't feel overwhelmed like I'm failing, but
you are not failing.
I just kind of question myself sometimes because anybody who's had the surgery, we have so many attempts and some of them go well and we're doing so good in the beginning. So I think in the back of my head, because this is gonna sound bad. Oh God, don't you freaking do it. My eyes are doing that thing. You're not gonna cry. But it's like you're so used to like failing that like it's like, what does success look like? You know?
Yeah.
So
that's tough.
Just trying to get around that. Oh, Cristine, don't do this. People are gonna watch.
You're okay. Anyway, you show emotion. We're okay. No.
I'm good. I just want to be successful and I want to appreciate this entire journey because it's like there have been times I posted about it and it was like there were times where like I had lost like before I graduated college I went on this thing, it was called Baddie by Gratty and I'm like I'm going to lose weight before I graduate, like I'm going to lose this weight and it went great even though I was apparently, according to my doctor, I was severely under eating. I was like, I only need 1,200 calories a day, but I'm 6 feet tall. So it's like, no, girl, you actually need like 1,800. So I had like lost a bunch of weight and, I was taking my graduation pictures and I felt great taking the pictures. And when my friend sent them back to me, like the edited ones, like I'm just, looking at flaws and I'm like, your stomach looks so big here and this. And at that point I had like lost like 60 pounds and I still couldn't appreciate how far I had come because I wasn't at goal. So it's like, for me, it's just important for me to like pat myself on the back the whole time and be like, listen, girl, you're doing great. Because what I'm not going to do is spend so much time thinking about flaws or am I going to have loose skin or is my fupa ever going to go away or whatever. It's like, just keep freaking going. Like, just freaking go.
Yes.
Like it's, you know, it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay if you don't have a Kardashian body, because frankly, the Kardashians don't look like the Kardashians. They have a membership card at their plastic surgeon. So it's like we always, you know, as women especially, we compare ourselves and, you know, pick at ourselves. And it's like, you need to tell yourself, hey, you're doing good. Like you're doing okay. Like you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're trying. And that's the imperative part, that you're trying. So this time around, my plan is just to try.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I was like, your body's not meant to look like that. Like there's just certain body types. Like I have hips. Kelly doesn't have hips.
Nope.
Like it's just not going to happen. Like just your body can't be the one that you're looking at, because that's not your body. We got to stop being so hard on ourselves.
Here's the other thing is, like, when I see pictures of Mel, I'm like, oh my God, you look so amazing. And then she looks at it and she's like, well, my stomach looks big. I don't like this. I don't like that. And vice versa. She'll take a photo of me and all I can see is my stomach or my arms or loose skin, or, you know, like the photo we posted yesterday of us in our workout gear. All I can see is the line, like my, like that's all I can see. I can just see my stomach, but other people don't see that. Like we see the worst in ourselves. Yeah. We are our worst critic.
And I think it's time, like someone told me this a long time ago, and it's something that I would like to apply, you know, in my life, but it's like, okay, think about it. If you had a best friend, right, that talks to you how you talk to yourself, would they be your friend? You know, like, and that's the question you need to ask yourself, because it's like, sometimes I'm so hard on my, and I'm surprised, like I haven't been like I think I'm just happy to like be, because right now I'm back at like my normal big weight, you know, the person I'm used to. So like losing the almost 30 pounds, I'm like, oh girl, is that you? Finally, girl, where have you been?
You're back.
You know? It's like, oh, okay, you're back. Okay. So, you know, I haven't really started to experience like when I start to not notice myself again or not recognize myself again. But it's important. Like we have to be good best friends to ourselves, because it's like, if I had a friend that talks to me the way that I talk to myself sometimes, I'd have to fight that bitch, you know?
Slap her a little bit.
Yeah, you know, like we wouldn't be friends. We'd be enemies. So it's like, I'm trying to be gentler with myself and really like live in the moment. Cause like I said, my anxiety like takes me, I was talking to y'all about regain, and I had surgery a month ago. So
you take it. It's that hamster wheel. Damn it. Like that damn hamster needs to go away, because I do it all. That's why I don't sleep, because my hamster wheel starts going and I think about, okay, well, if I do this, then this is going to happen. If I don't do this, then this is going to happen. What do I do if this happens? Like, and it's the same thing. Like, okay, I've regained like 25 pounds. I'm 2 years out. I'm still doing way better than I was 2 years ago, but I kick myself for that, because I'm like, it's your own damn fault. You ate this, you ate that. And it's like, okay, so but I could be nice to myself.
Yeah, you could be a little nicer about it.
I could be like, hey, you got this today. Why don't you do A, B, and C and see how that works out? You know, there's a way that we talk to each other.
When you said that, it triggered a memory where like, because I know what you mean by where you go up and then you finally like start coming down and like stuff that you've never seen before. Because I got up to 308, and it was funny where I hit like 280, where I was like, well, I've seen this weight before. So I was like, well, I'm just really at 0 then. And then I would start my number again.
Instead of celebrating shit.
Yeah,
like,
I would just
celebrate it.
That's 0. I need to just like, I would not talk about, oh, I just lost 20 pounds. Like 20
pounds of fat.
I'm telling you this, I have never been so happy to be 286 before. I know that there are times in my life, if I would have saw that number, I would have just been like, oh my God, like, God, I'm so fat. Like, but it's like, it's moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I was telling my dad something today, like our value is not attached to a number on the scale. So it's
like, what it is.
We can't, like Kelly, when you were talking about beating yourself up for 20 pounds, your value is not attached to your lowest weight. You know, whatever you feel comfortable at, like if you feel comfortable and great and you still feel energetic, 20 pounds heavier, and you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm a bad bitch. And you know, it's like, hey, okay, well, maybe we're going to keep these 20 pounds, or maybe we lose 10 and I like that weight, but your value's not attached to your lowest weight. And I'm trying to, as I'm telling you this, it's like I'm telling myself this, because I'm that person that I just like, I don't know if you could tell, I'm like, I give it out, I'm so positive, all this stuff. And then when I talked about stuff like, you fat bitch, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I love to be positive. I love to tell my friends like, oh, you look amazing, or you did fantastic today. But then when it comes to myself, I have a really hard time internalizing the positivity.
Yeah, we're assholes.
We are complete assholes to ourselves. Yes.
We got to be better best friends to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we want to be our best friend, not an enemy. And
at the end of the day,
who are you left with?
Number one.
Exactly. We got to spend 24/7 with this person. Might as well love them. And that's my number one goal, is because I mean, my goal weight would be like 175, because I would like to experience what it's like to, even though BMIs is a very like Eurocentric concept and all that stuff, and it's kind of weird. Part of me wants to experience like going to the doctor and seeing normal, you know, not seeing overweight, not seeing obese, not seeing morbidly obese, like just seeing normal, you know?
I like that.
And so it's like, that's my ultimate goal, but my top goal above all of that is really like treating myself more kindly throughout this process, because I think that makes all of the difference between all of my other weight loss attempts in the past. Like I was so busy focusing on what I was not, that I would not focus on how far I came. So I could easily be like, oh, so-and-so lost 40 pounds in the first month. You only lost 27. No, you lost 27. You're great. You stalled out this week. That's fine. Like you're great. You know, everything's fine. But just kind of also making sure that I'm following plan, like sticking to plan, not doing too much, because I do think sometimes that we get comfortable and it's like, oh, well, I can do a little more and do a little more. And in the past, that is what's kind of sent me back to a starting point, is because I just like, oh, I can do this. Oh, they just told me I look great. Let's go get chimichangas, you know?
Right.
You know, so it's like not mentally going there and then learning how to say no, because my friends are always like, oh, you can come out, you can just do this, you can just do that, and just learning how to be like, actually, no.
I was gonna say, how has your friendships, like in relationships, changed at all? Like, how are they supportive? Is there any surprises that you weren't, you know, think it was gonna happen?
They're fine. They really are fine. I love my friends. I love my family. Sometimes people make backwards compliments, you know, and I'm just like, you know?
Yeah.
And like, even I was telling my dad today, he like made a comment that he thought was a compliment, but it made me feel like shit. Because he there in Nigeria, in my tribe, there's something called like bride price. They're probably in most tribes, but it's like it's very misogynistic. So it's like whenever you get married, your groom, like he needs to present your family with like gifts and like palm wine and, you know, all this other stuff to like show his intent to marry you or whatever. So my boyfriend, he lives in Dallas, he's American. So like my dad was kind of like walking him through like all that stuff. And he's like, oh, well, when it's time, you're going to have to bring me this and this and this. And after I lost like 25 pounds, he comes home and he's like, oh, you're looking great. I'm going to have to double your bride price. And I'm like, wait, so you're selling me for clearance because I gained weight? Like, huh? I was like, my bride price should still be as high as it is because of my values not attached to my weight. Like my value shouldn't go up because I'm losing weight.
Yep.
So little comments like that. And then my family kind of like, my grandma came down to come get the vaccine. And, you know, my cousins came over to the house and my mom, she made like spaghetti. And I was like, well, maybe this would be a good time to try the ricotta bake. So then I'm kind of eating something similar to them, but I was like, I can't do the spaghetti. And my mom was like, can't you just have 2 noodles and blah, blah, blah. And then like my cousin, she was watching me like make the bake and she was like, oh, and I'm like, can you guys not do that? Like, it's just an alternative, you know?
Yeah. Like, why are you sad for me?
Yeah, I'm like, don't be sad for me. I'm just doing what I have to do. Yeah. And then I've heard oh, now I'm going to be the fat friend. I'm like, okay, girl, bye. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, that's definitely a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
These
it's
are
like
all the ones that I heard. These are exactly all the ones that I've heard. Like,
but all I know is I'm, you know, I'm calm, cool, collected to an extent, but I'm also one of those people where like, it's probably going to be a day where some poor soul is just going to say the wrong thing. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up, worry about yourself, and like take out all the stuff on them, you know, but my go-to is literally going to be like, listen, if you're not my nutritionist or my doctor, I really
don't say anything.
Don't care what you think. Just because now there's like family members that I only see at funerals and family reunions. Like, how's your weight loss going? It's like, why do you care? You know, like why is everybody so invested? And then like certain people, oh, well, you don't want to lose weight too fast. My mom's best friend, you don't want to lose weight too fast because you'll gain it all back. And I'm like, listen. And that's where, I don't know if you guys saw my little TikTok, but I was like, they told me I was going to gain all my weight back, but you were on keto and you gained all your weight back, and you were on Weight Watchers and you gained all your weight back. So it's like, why is it like only weight loss surgery where people are so like zoomed in and like watching your waistline? And so I don't necessarily know if I'm mentally prepared for that and all that fake assness, you know?
What it confused me. I was like, why now do you get to have an opinion and I get to hear it? Like, what the fuck? You just have weight loss surgery, now you'll say something and be rude? Like, but you wouldn't before?
Exactly. So when I was racking up comorbidities like infinity stones, y'all weren't saying nothing then. So don't be quiet as you were then. When I was gaining weight, I will say the only person told me that I was getting fat was my dad. He was like, listen, girl.
I love it.
I'm like, so, and I mean, whatever, I appreciate that, but it's just like, just dealing with all that fake assness, like, I don't know. And all the people who are all of a sudden like I don't know if I'm ready for that, just because I don't like fake people, period. So it's like, I just feel like I'm about to be very choosy with
and you should.
You 100% will be, and you should be.
Yeah. Because it's about you. It's about what you like to do, who you want to hang out with, and you get to dictate that.
Yep.
No one else does.
And I recently stopped talking to a friend. I didn't lose her. I'm not finding her in any way, shape, or form. So, but she made comments of how the way I was with celebrating my own weight loss made her feel like shit. And
it was your fault.
And it was my fault that she felt like shit. But she's the one that's eating, not me. Like, I wasn't pushing the food into her mouth. I was simply like, I would make comments like, I'm so excited because this shirt is getting too big. I'm so like, those are things that you should be celebrating, that your friends should be celebrating with you, not crying to their husbands because of it.
You know what I have learned is that there are only a select people in your life that really, and sometimes I just boil it down to like your parents, because you came from them, but sometimes not even then. Like, people are okay with you doing good, but once you start doing better than them, you know, once you start getting past them, you know, all of a sudden it becomes a problem. And I think that it's more so projection, because it's like, and that's kind of what I mean when I'm like, I just side eye everyone, because it's like the same people who will kind of like berate you and make you feel bad were the same people telling you, oh, you don't lose weight, you're not that big and all that stuff. And part of me is like, were you only telling me this because you didn't want me to lose weight because you feel like, you know, so and I don't want to be that person that's like, everyone's jealous of me, like, and all. I'm not that person.
But misery loves company.
Yeah, and
you know, it's like, I don't want to. I love my friendships that I have now, and most of them have been extremely supportive. But I do know at some point, most of them will have to get like a little checking. You know, have to be like, mind your business. Like,
you don't get to talk to me like that.
You don't get to talk to me like that. You don't get to talk to me about that. Sorry, you know, and like set boundaries there.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, it's not jealousy. I feel like it's just them, like you said, projection on someone else. And then they don't like it when people stand up for themselves and they say, don't talk to me like that. Like, people hate it when all of a sudden there's a boundary.
Oh yeah.
They're like
even with my ex, recently, like, I've started being like, you don't get to talk to me like that. You don't get to behave like that. and it's like World War III just
People
got
hate
thrown
it.
down. Like
Yeah.
people do not like to be told, like, this is my boundary. You're not allowed to cross that.
Yeah. And if you do,
you know what I think
Yeah.
it is it's attached to fat phobia. Like, even though I plan on getting away from being fat, like I totally don't plan on being one of those people that, you know, will get smaller and then start to, you know, berate every big person, because I feel like what it is with society really does hate fat people. Like,
they do.
They really do hate fat people.
They hate us.
And whenever you're bigger, we're expected to accept anything, accept any type of behavior. We're expected to shine, but not that light. You know, we can be cute, but if we're Lizzo and we're, you know, we're showing ourselves in our bodies and all this other stuff, no, you can't do that. You know, so it's like, we're policed so much, you know,
we make them feel uncomfortable
so much that people feel like they can talk to you any kind of way, treat you any kind of way. There are men that, you know, I've been in relationships that probably thought that I was just going to stick around because maybe that they were the only person that'd be willing to be with me. And at some point, some women start to believe that, you know, they start to believe like, oh, I can't get any better, or like believe the things that people have like ingrained into them. But the fact is, when I met the guy that I love now, I was pushing 300 and he treats me like a fucking princess.
Yes.
Like literally like a princess. And it's one of those relationships where it's made me be like, oh, I see why all this other shit didn't work. Like, I was so pressed behind all this. And that's what I'm telling you, Kelly.
Yes.
Don't be pressed too long, girl, because you will find that relationship, they'll make you be like, I don't even know why I was tripping over this.
Right?
Thing. Yeah. Like, I was like, who, what? You know, what's his name?
What was his name? What was the, I don't remember.
No,
we're just gonna push his name out of my brain.
Exactly. So, you know, just knowing, and that's what I mean by like, our value is not attached to a number. Now, while I want to be the healthiest person I can be, we all know what it's like to, have you guys had moments in your life where you thought you were fat and you weren't, and you wish you were the fat that you thought you were? You know,
high school.
Like, you know, so it's like, if we start to like be more gentle with ourselves and know that our value's not attached to a number, then, you know, you're not so pressed about it to where it's like, because for me, it was like, oh, well, I'm fat already, it doesn't matter. And then it got out of hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we got to learn to just push all this stuff, all the people, all that, you know, anybody who doesn't mean us, you know, well and peace and doesn't wish the best for us, you got to go. Like, I don't have space. Like, seriously, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm now at with my life now. I'm like, you don't make me happy. You don't treat me nice. See ya.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with this bullshit. I'm not. I would rather have 2 best friends and nobody else than have 15 people and 10 of them talk behind my back.
Period.
I just would rather hear it to my face. If you're pissed at me, tell me. If you think a certain way, tell me. Be honest with me. But I don't need fakeness in my life. I'm done with that. So no, I completely
for so
get
long
it.
we're just accustomed to having to put up with it, because like I said, society hates fat people. They tell us we're not deserving of love, of friendships, of, you know, of being able to speak up for ourselves, of being able to be beautiful. Like, it tells us we can't do so much, that at some point we start to listen. So it's like, we got to break all those cycles about not being enough and realize, like, even at your heaviest, nobody should have been able to talk to you crazy. You know? So it's like, I think that part of getting smaller is you start to find your voice, in a sense, because you're starting to, I don't know, get towards like the status quo, to where your weight's not like standing out. So now you feel like, oh, I can be myself. Like, I don't have to be the jokester in the room every time, or like wind myself up to just be the funny fat girl to make everyone laugh, or, you know, it's like, I'm not doing
that. That's why this is all happening, because it's like, like, I had to be on all the time, like, because I was never looked at as like the pretty girl, or the, you know, the one that you go talk to about like, do it. I don't know where I'm going with that, actually.
All I know, you are a pretty girl. You're beautiful.
I know it now. I just didn't know it then.
No, back then too. You know what I'm saying? Back then you were beautiful. Like I've seen your befores. You were beautiful back then. So the only thing is I wish we could see it, you know? And I'm not saying that in a way to like advocate for being obese or anything like that, but I do envy like this movement where like bigger women are starting to be like, I'm a bad bitch, you know, and like really embrace themselves and love themselves. Like I was like, damn, I wish that was there when I was coming up, because maybe I never would have been obese, because I would have looked and been like, oh, I love myself.
I'm totally fine just the way I'm at.
I love my body. Like it all goes back to like everybody has different body types. It really does come back to that, because if you own it and you show it, then that means the other girl that looks kind of like you now doesn't feel ashamed, because the other one's out there. It's like,
exactly.
There we go.
Yeah,
exactly.
There we go. Have you had an NSV at all yet?
Yes. So NSV I had whenever I came home from you guys are so funny. Whenever I came home, it was like a couple of weeks ago. So maybe I was like 2 weeks out. There were, like I was telling you guys, I got to a place where all I was wearing was biker shorts and big like men's 3X t-shirts, just because I was like, I just want to be comfortable, you know? And there was like so many clothes I couldn't fit anymore. And all my jeans like were under my bed, and I'm like, I can never wear them. So I was cleaning my room and I was like, let me try this on. And I like everything except 2 things fit. And I was like, shut the fuck up. I can fit. I can fit my clothes. Oh my God. So now I'm looking forward to when I can't fit them again, but in reverse, you know. But it really does get to you whenever you have nothing to wear, like, because you know you gain weight, and even if you've lost weight, it's like it does something to you when someone asks you to go out and I'm like in there for an hour and I'm trying on things and they're not fitting, and I'm just, now I don't even want to go, and I'm getting emotional and stuff. So it's like, just to be able to like be comfortable in my own clothes. And I know that soon like those are going to have to go too, but it just feels good to like be back. Cause I broke down and I bought some jeans in the size that I should have been wearing, and they were size 24s. And I'm 6 and I don't look in my head that big. I never, and mind you, like jean sizes, they could have been maybe like a 22 in another thing, or like a 20 or in the brand. But the fact that I bought those, and I'm just like, and I'd already like started paying for the surgery and everything at that point. But I told myself, I'm like, you need to see what your actual true size is. Like, don't keep trying to squeeze into these jeans, buttons popping off, you busting out of this. I'm like, just size up. So I went, and I sized up, and I was sad, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, you're about to have this surgery. You're not going to be wearing these long. I put them on. I was like, well, let me see how these fit. They literally like fell off. And I'm like, I was like, thank you, God. Like, I was like, I didn't want to buy these to begin with, but I needed to buy them to like, because I want to do that thing with the jeans where like they're like these, you know, and I'm like, well, if I put those 18s that I was squeezing into, it's not going to be an accurate representation of what I should have been wearing. So now I'll have like the biggest jeans I ever bought.
Good,
that was a great non-scale victory, like to be able to fit into that. And then I'd also say like just being able to like recognize myself again, because like my face had started getting really swollen and just like, you know, I just wasn't feeling good, you know, because I was just like, who is this? Like, I walk past the mirror and do a double take, like, who's that? You know, so now, just like you were saying, Mel, like being able to look in the mirror and like, oh, okay. Even though I'm kind of at my comfy weight, like my known weight, like it's like, it feels good to be like, okay. You know, I took a picture the other day. I saw a little bit of it. I was like, "Oh, there it is. There's a little clavicle. It's coming."
Yes,
you know?
Yes. Just wait until you have it full across. You're gonna be like, "Yes,
girl." When the weight loss attempt before college, I had full clavicle. I'm gonna DM that to y'all with the picture of my stomach, full clavicle, and I was sitting there poking at like, oh, look at your fupa. I was like, you should have looked at the collarbone. Look at your collarbone. But whatever, we'll get back there.
Yes. Just stay as positive as possible. And I mean, you're doing fantastic.
Yeah. And you have so much more to go.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything you're looking forward to in these next 3 months?
what will I look forward to in the next 3 months? I don't know yet.
Okay.
I would say, I would hope, like, I'm trying not to attach numbers because I don't know what my body's gonna do.
Right.
But if in the next 3 months I could be like out of the 250s into the 240s, that would be approaching the weight that I was whenever I graduated college. So I can finally see that body and apologize to her for like not treating her right and telling her she was fat, even though she lost all this weight. So there's a picture that I have from graduation that I would love to be that size again. Like, I'm trying not to compare myself to other people's body types, but like I pulled like the whole history of Cristine, you know, so my ebbs and flows, and like some of those ebbs was up there. Like, I was looking real good. So like, I want to put some side by sides looking like that again.
Yes. I have some like that photos that I just like randomly, I'll just do a deep dive into like my photo bucket, into my old Facebook, and I'll be like, okay, that's a good side by side. That's a good side by side. And I have folders on my phone for everything. I even have a folder full of Melanie photos.
She does.
She need to take more photos. I was listening to you say that you need to take, because you guys are bad bitches, okay? And I don't know if you guys don't like being called bitches, and I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm good with it.
You know, it has many ways that you can say it.
Yes.
It's all of the epitome of bad bitches. And I love, I just love the people who have had the surgery before are like really helping to guide us, because you guys may not know it, but I was literally listening to your podcast, like taking notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have listened to, I need to catch up on this season, but like last season, all of it, and I was just like, and I listened to it in like 4 days, because I was like, these guys are just so insightful. So knowing there's so many people that like, once they hit go, it's like, all right, bye, fatties. I'm gonna go live my best small life, So the fact that you guys are, giving back is amazing. Seriously.
Oh, thank you. We love it.
Oh, it's a blast.
I mean, we live, breathe, eat, and sleep this podcast and this community. So
it helps us though. Like, it helps us like mentally and physically, because like we want to make sure you guys are the healthiest. So like, we do the goals with you. Like, we do all the challenges with you guys. Like,
well,
and this talking helps the therapy part. Yeah, you're kind of bad at
I'm bad at the physical challenges. I am bad at it. I don't do them, and I don't think about them until Melanie says something, and then I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't do the last 15 days.
Are y'all still doing the what's that girl's name? Woke up
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all still doing her
workouts?
Yeah. So I actually injured myself.
Yeah. This motherfucker injures herself
first day back.
Live.
Or no, it was like the
third day
back.
Really?
My whole chest popped, and I fell to the ground, and I still have limited mobility.
What?
Like,
so
you better go to a chiropractor and have it pop it back in.
Seriously.
I don't know what happened, but it was like I could touch it and it felt bruised.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest fucking thing ever. But I'm finally like, I think I'm almost all better.
Yeah, like she's been randomly doing stuff with me, like trying to like do stuff. But it's funny because yesterday, I don't think she caught herself, but when she was leaving, she's like, oh yeah, and then you can do the challenge and post it up. And then she's like, and then I'm gonna do
we.
And I was like, wait a minute. This is supposed to be we, not you.
Also on Thursday, I don't know if you caught it, but she's like, I got to do the challenge, and I'm sitting at my island, I'm all, yeah, you're gonna fucking do it. And am I gonna do it? No, I'm not. Because do I want to? No, I do not.
Sometimes we just don't. But sometimes we just don't feel it. But I know, I do. One of my goals is to just be a much more active person, because I'm actually somebody like I don't hate the gym. Like, I literally, it's the getting there. If I get there and I'm in the door, I can work out for like an hour and a half. Like, I feel great afterwards, but the getting there is the problem. And do I want to put on clothes and go? So it's like, I need to come up with a game plan, because I want to be, there's someone, I don't know if you guys follow, her name is Crunchy Sleever.
Yes.
You know how ripped she is?
Oh my God.
I want to be one of those bariatric patients that are like freaking ripped. Like, so it's like, I want to lift, and there's so many like fitness goals I actually have. Like, I would love to be able to like, run, a mile in under 10 minutes. Or like, like she is crazy. She's freaking ripped.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, there's someone else. There's on Clubhouse. There's this support group I do every Friday on there, and there is ain't she a bad bitch? Like,
yeah,
she's a baddie. And there's another guy I follow, and what's his name? It's TC something. I can't remember. His name is TC, but his Instagram, like, he had bariatric surgery, I believe, last year. And when I say, he looks so amazing, and he just finished a challenge where he was supposed to run 100 miles in March, the month of March. He's already finished. It's the 13th.
Damn.
He's ran 100. He does like 10 miles a day. So it's like, for me, finding that switch where it's like, I'm going to be an active person. Like, I like hiking and stuff like that. So it's like, I want to go like really live my best life and like enjoy this and not stay on the couch and just be like a couch potato watching Netflix. And, so it's like, in order to do that, we just got to get up. Exactly. We just got to get up and go. And just like Nike said, just do it.
Just do it. I love it.
Well, because once you do it, you feel so good about doing it. And it's like the dread's gone. Like, normally, like I would say, like, for me, it was a dread, like going there, like, okay, I'm gonna have to sit in this seat over here so I don't like get in people's way. Like, it's, you're always thinking about like the fat person in your head, like maneuvering around. Like, if I get in the water, I better stay in the water because I really can't pull myself in and out. So we're just gonna, when you're in, and then you're out. That's it, So like, now you don't have that. You can just do things and have fun with and just have a good time with your spouse or your friends or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you this, Mel. I'm gonna tell you what my trainer said to me. It trained my life, my old trainer. She said, because I was telling her that too. I was like, sometimes I just feel like the fat person at the gym, and I'm waiting for machines, and I feel like everybody's looking at me. And she was like, if you're paying attention to the people who are looking at you, you're not working out hard enough. And she was like, I need to increase your reps if you have time to be working out, looking at other people, and you're so leisurely that you're like, oh, look at all. She's like, we need to increase your reps. Yeah. And I'm like, excuse me? That's not why I told you that.
Yes. Yeah, that's my kind of trainer, man.
Yes, I love it.
True. So true.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much everything for this first month check-in. We can't wait to see where you are in 2 months.
I'm so
2 more months.
So excited. I love you guys so much. Like, we're friends now. Like, now we're in production, we're friends. Just so you know. Like,
this solidified it. Yeah. Oh no. There's not many people that we can talk to this long.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's a good thing. It means that you are officially a part of the OSLP.
We're OSLP. Right. Yeah. We're OSLP besties now. I have a sticker on my refrigerator from Christmas. Seriously.
I love it.
Is there anything that we may have missed though before we go that you wanted to like let the listeners know, followers know about?
Any questions for us?
Like the last month or so?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
But hey, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is at Watch Cristine Shrink. There's no H in my name, so it's Cristine. So
perfect.
Shrink.
We will also have you tagged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll have you tagged so that anybody who listens to this episode, they can go right on over and follow you on Instagram. And do it, people, because she's fantastic.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. And I honestly, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. So just keep on doing what you guys are doing. Like, I see the page is at like 8K right now. So the numbers, I haven't been following you guys all that long, and the numbers are going up. So people are seeing and recognizing, and I know I've told at least like 10 people, if you're not listening to this podcast, what are you doing with your life? Like,
thank you. We're so excited. We cannot wait for 10,000 because we have big stuff.
You're so close. Like, seriously, I feel like once it starts happening, like the numbers just start going up. So it's like, you guys are really close. She'll probably hit 10,000 in like not even like a couple of months. I'll make sure I tell like 1,000 people to follow you guys.
We've kind of projected it out, and we're hoping by May.
Yeah, by May.
Oh yes, I see it. Like, let's speak it, manifest it. 10,000
by May.
Okay,
10,000.
and then 100,000 2022. How about that?
That's what she said, and I was like,
yes.
I don't know if I'm gonna go that far. She's like, well, where would you like to see us in 2022? And I was like, I don't fucking know.
Like, listen, you guys are totally clearing the stigma of weight loss surgery, and more people should do it. And I just like the fact that I don't know how this idea came into fruition, but yeah, the fact, because when I found it, like I said earlier, I was like, my people, like they cuss, like they like
she smokes weed. What?
They smoke weed. They tell you don't bring bread to the table, like they tell it like it is. Like, so you guys are so amazing, and it's just been great following you guys, and I'm really, thankful and just glad that you asked me to participate in this, because I think that it's a really cool opportunity doing the Bariatric Diaries.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We are so excited, and we will see you in 2 more months.
2 months.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Y'all have a good day.
You too. All right.
That was Cristine.
That was Cristine's 1 month story. We're so excited because how amazing is she? I know I'm not supposed to use the word amazing because I use it a lot, but okay, so let me try again. How outstanding is she?
Right? Like she is just, she is our people.
She is our people. That is the people that we love to nurture and give all of our.
We gelled really well. It felt really good.
You always said amazing.
I did. I corrected.
Yes.
So,
all right.
Stay with us because we're going to be, doing her 3-month, her 6-month, 9, 12. So just follow along and we'll see how she goes. We'll see what the good things are, tough things are, and give you guys tips and tricks of what those sections kind of look like. So you can stay with us.
And we still have Matt's story, and then we will also have Stephanie's story coming up. And we're so excited.
Yeah.
We're so excited. This is a huge step in our podcast, and we love showcasing the everyday people that are doing the weight loss surgery.
Yeah, it needs to be known because we are just regular people, and we just need to help each other.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you.
We love you guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.